What did we learn from the second race of the Formula One season in 2026? We could see that Mercedes is dominant. So let's take a closer look at the data. In the qualifying in Australia, we could see that Ferrari was 0.8 seconds behind Mercedes. In China, it was just 0.35 seconds. So why was that? Because, as we knew before, Melbourne is not really the best track for this new generation of cars. This new generation wants long straights and hard braking zones so they can recharge the battery more easily. So Mercedes' advantage came out more in Melbourne and less in China. If we look at the sector times, we can see that Ferrari is actually a little bit better in corners, but Mercedes gains on the straights. So the big advantage, the lap time advantage at Mercedes, comes on the straights. And why? Because the Mercedes accelerates quicker, it has more top speed, and it holds the top speed for longer, which means the car is less recharging. So just the whole energy management system at Mercedes is a lot more efficient than at the other cars. And because the differences in the power units and energy management between the teams are so big, the other topics are pretty much covered by that and don't really come out so much. So we don't see the aerodynamic problems so much yet, because if the gap is getting bigger between cars, they can use the different energy strategy to get closer again. And on the other hand, we also didn't talk much about tire management so far. But we could see now that Ferrari is warming up the tires a little bit quicker, because they're always good at the beginning of a stint, so after the race start or in qualifying or after the safety car restart. But as in previous years, Ferrari is always good in heating up the tires quickly and bringing them into the temperature window, but they also wear out a little bit faster, so they have more degradation than Mercedes. So after a couple of laps, suddenly the Mercedes can preserve the tires better, and then they're faster than the Ferraris again. So Mercedes needs longer to warm up the tires, but they also last for longer on a Mercedes. If we look at the race pace, we can see that the Ferrari is around 0.6 seconds slower than the Mercedes per lap. If we compare that to last year, with such a gap, it would have been hard to get into Q3. But we have to say, as predicted, the field is now further apart, so the gaps are a lot bigger, and we could also see overlapping again. And interesting here is to see that only the first 8 cars in China were not overlapped by Mercedes. If we compare that race pace to previous years, we can see that McLaren in 2025 was around 0.3 seconds per lap faster than the rest. And Red Bull in their dominant year in 2023 was 0.57 seconds per lap faster in average. So that is a similar dominance we can see here. And for Mercedes, that is similar to their dominance between 2014 and 2016, which is actually quite shocking. If we keep in mind that cars usually get 6 to 8 tenths per lap faster during a season, it will take quite a long time for Ferrari to catch up, and just providing that Mercedes is not making any gains. So interesting here is that we can now see that the Mercedes powertrain or energy management system is a lot more efficient than on other cars. So as we said, they can deploy more energy, they are faster in acceleration, they are faster in the top speed, so they have more power than the others, but they don't need to recharge as much. So how is that possible? And why are their customers not seeing similar advantages? And now first speculations come up. So if we take a standard Formula One car, the drivetrain pretty much looks like this. So we have the V6 engine sitting pretty much in the middle, because in front of this is the battery and the fuel tank. And at the back, we can see the diff on the rear axle, and actually the gearbox in blue is relatively small, and there's a huge gap between the combustion engine and between the gearbox, and that is the bell housing. The bell housing is usually there for the clutch, but the clutch in an F1 car is very small, so it's a huge space, which is also aerodynamically packaged, because the gearbox is aerodynamically shaped outside. So teams package all sorts of things in here. So for example, the turbocharger is in here, suspension components are in here, hydraulic components are in here. So it's pretty full. Everything that shouldn't be in the airflow, so because Formula One cars are also developed for the airflow underneath the cover to have as little cooling resistance as possible, everything that should not be in the airflow underneath is packaged in here. So rumors came up now that Mercedes could have a mechanical hybrid system, because the regulations only limit an electric hybrid system but not a mechanical system. So with such a system, it would be possible for them to harvest more energy and to also deploy more energy before they use the electric system, which would then explain why they don't need to recharge so much and why they can actually deploy more energy. So the idea is that basically these gearboxes are a two-shaft design, with the input shaft being the lower one, and because you have more space in the bell housing available, you could then extend the output shaft, which is usually going to the diff, but on the other side you could extend it into the bell housing and you could have some kind of a flywheel here. So that would have to be a mechanical flywheel, so it's not regulated by the electric ERS system rules. So let's have a quick discussion about that, because Williams was using such a flywheel at the beginning of the hybrid time in Formula One, and their flywheel had a weight of 5 kilograms. But to make this whole flywheel system work, they needed to add around 25 kilograms, because you also need to increase the speed of this. So the speed here at the output shaft of the gearbox wouldn't be enough. You need much higher speed than this. And obviously by this being a flywheel, it means that the heavier the flywheel is, the more energy you can store. But you don't want to add so much weight. So you would have to add more energy by higher rotational speed. But with higher rotational speed, you would also need some kind of gearbox like a CVT here, and you would also need a clutch to engage and disengage the system. On the other hand, this would probably not add as much energy as we can see on the Mercedes. It is an interesting idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes has more nice innovations in the car. It would be a good idea because the regulations don't really limit that. But on the other hand, it still needs to be quite small, because in the bell housing you have some space, but you can't have a super big diameter, and the bigger the diameter is, the more energy you could store here. So I think it's a little bit early to talk about a mechanical flywheel system here, and maybe the explanation for the superior pace is far more simple. Maybe they really just have more power from their combustion engine, and because of that they don't need to use the electric hybrid system as much as others, and they are not running out of battery so often. So what do you think, and how did you like the second race of the season 2026? Let me know in the comments below, and see you at the next video.